Inequality, gender inequality. It's not okay in any way, shape, or form, and I believe it's time a whole to start it to realize this. My name is Lintang. I'm a woman, and ever since I was young, I have believed in gender equality. And now that I had the chance to speak out, I really want my voice to be heard. Every time that we marginalize women's rights, we lose the chance to free millions of men, women, and children from poor conditions and inequality around the world. Gender norms and roles have been created due to traditions and our ancestors, and they are therefore creating a barriers for men and women alike. Women can expect to earn significantly less over their entire careers. This is due to differences occurring responsibilities, low skilled and low paid work, the qualifications women acquire, and outright discrimination. The current wage gap is 13.9%, and although many of you might think of this as a minor issue in the grand scheme of things, I see it as an issue that shouldn't exist in today's society. Over 62 million girls are denied an education every year. This left them without opportunities and unable to see their full potential. Take Malala's story. Malala was a young girl who as a child became an advocate for the right that all girls should get an education. This resulted in the Taliban issuing a death threat against her. She was only a child. Malala demanded that girls were to receive an education, which resulted in a gunman shooting her on her way home from school. She was lucky enough to survive, going on to be the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Malala is a perfect example of how a single person can influence millions of others. In 60 years' time, 15.5 million girls will be married as children. Many pregnant before their late teenagers are most dying giving birth. 1 in 7 girls would be married as children in developing countries, all of them by the age of 15. Once they are married, their freedom is taken away from them. Freedom. I think many of us taken for granted. Girls in Guatemala last year were only given this freedom when the marriage age was raised to 18. And throughout my life, I have seen myself as extremely lucky despite being called weak pussy or various other names for being a confident young female. My gender has never caused me any regret, any great distress. I have not been loved any less because I'm a daughter, and my parents have never treated me any differently to my brother. And although most of you might think, well, women have it worse, that's the way it's always been, you're wrong. Suicide is the highest cause of death for men in the United Kingdom and Australia, caused by stereotypes and perception they are meant to fit in. As you can see in the graph, elderly men are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than young men, and almost 7 to 8 times more likely to commit suicide than women. I believe that men in this day and age should be able to communicate and express their emotion instead of being oppressed by the patriarchy as well. And in today's society, there was an unknown obsession with putting people wearing pink or showing their emotions, labeling them gay, weak, or worse. Both gender are trapped in this vicious cycle of inequality. Male privilege is clearly shown in their story from Australia. This young man, He went through several honors to get his PhD, and all 7 in his field were only available to women. His honors and PhD went to waste when he was refused a job and refused his dream. He was discriminated against. Many men may face discrimination and disapproval when taken on career paths, carrying responsibilities, and activities traditionally reserved for women. For example, men account for only 5% in the early childhood education and care workforce, and are radically underrepresented in the maternal child and health workforce. This creates challenges for men seeking out careers in these industries, while many men want to take more equal responsibilities in caring for children and teaching and other things like the workplaces. Workplace practices often prevent or discourage them from taking extended parental leave or from working flexibly. So what can we do to change? Well, by working with charities, we can stop child marriage and gain an education for girls worldwide. By working with charity, that we can lower the rates of suicides and remove these labels. And by working with the workforce, and together we can gain equal access into jobs and into equal pay. By working together, we can gain a gender equal society. In my nervousness for this speech, and in my moment of doubt, I've told myself firmly, if not me, who? If not now, when? If you have similar thoughts when opportunities are presented to you, I hope these words might be helpful, because the reality is that if we do nothing, it will take 75 years, or for me to be nearly 100 before women can expect to be paid the same as men for the same work. If you believe in equality, you might be one of those inadvertent feminists I spoke of earlier. I'm inviting you to step forward, to be seen to speak up, and to ask yourself, if not me, who? If not now, when? Thank you for listening.